Hi, everyone, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Adam Jewell, and I'm the Director of Strategic Partnerships here at Equus Compute Solutions. Today, I'll be giving you a brief introduction to Equus and discussing some of our latest offerings, and then I'll be joined by three gentlemen from one of our best partners, NVIDIA, who will be providing an overview of NVIDIA's Spectrum and Air cloud networking products and services, as well as a live demonstration. Our speakers today will be Bill Webb, who is responsible for Spectrum Ethernet switching sales, Greg Hamoya, NVIDIA Senior Channel Manager, and Matt Blackstone, NVIDIA Senior Solution Architect. All right, so let's dive in. At Equus, we are a system, solution, and technology provider. We've been in business for over 30 years, and we've delivered over 3.5 million systems worldwide. We have locations in the Midwest, and our main innovation center is located in California, right outside of Los Angeles. In addition, we have support offices and FSLs across the world. We are a 100% employee-owned company with over 250 active participants in our ESOP program. And one of the things we take pride in is our strong and long-standing relationships with some of the best names in technology. We've recently introduced a new concept and suite of offerings, which we're calling Innovation as a Service. What you see is a list of both vertical and horizontal markets and practices that we're focusing on. These include things like artificial intelligence, where we're hosting infrastructure, such as the A100 GPU servers and Intel Habana's Gaudi 2 system, for our customers to test and run proof of concepts before diving into large purchases for their AI developments. In immersion cooling, we're working with the largest immersion cooling infrastructure companies, such as LiquidStack and Ultrascale Digital Infrastructure, where we're providing the compute and full integration of these solutions, as well as the warranty. In cybersecurity, we recently partnered with Zscaler, the world's leading zero-trust security provider, to offer the best advanced compute with the best security solutions. At Equus, we have an extremely talented and knowledgeable group of solution architects that will help you choose the best technology for your application. Our services include hardware and software design, custom configuring of off-the-shelf products, deployment, and long-term support. And of course, we are a leading NVIDIA partner and integrator. At Equus, we work with a wide selection of system solution providers, some of which, but not all, can be seen here. We take pride in ensuring that what our customers are paying for in terms of compute is well utilized. In other words, don't purchase more or less than what your application needs and ensure the price reflects that. In addition, with any of our system providers, we have the ability to further configure these off-the-shelf systems. These are custom configurations the Tier 1s are generally not going to do. This could come in the form of a custom BIOS implementation, image loading, bezel and branding elements, or specialized hardware add-ins needed for your applications. Our relationships with all of these companies aid us in making this all happen. We provide our partners with valuable customer and market feedback in which they incorporate into their designs, and our direct connections allows us to collaborate and develop alongside of them rapidly. And of course, we'll make use of our preferred partner pricing and providing our customers with the best price possible, usually beating all Tier 1s even with customizations. If you'd like to learn more about Equus, please visit us at equuscs.com, or you can shop directly on our sister site, serversdirect.com. In addition, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn to see our latest product and service offerings, partnerships we're creating, blog posts from industry experts, and market technology advancements. Thank you for joining us, and with that, I'll turn it over to Bill.
Great. Thank you, Jeff, and thank you, Adam, for having us on today's webinar. I'm Bill Webb, and I'm responsible for our Spectrum Ethernet switching segment sales for the Americas at NVIDIA. And today I'm going to give you an overview of our NVIDIA Spectrum platform and really talk about how you can use it to solve cloud complexity, both with cloud networking and AI networking. NVIDIA offers a complete Ethernet switching solution with our Spectrum switch platform. Spectrum is perfect for any data center environment. This is, if you're an enterprise building an on-prem cloud, if you're a cloud provider offering public cloud offering, and of course, if you're someone looking to build AI infrastructure, the Spectrum switch platform is perfect for you. So let's talk a little bit more about what this platform looks like. Going from the bottom up, the first thing I want to highlight is we brought 5 generations of ASICs or chipsets that power switches to market. These ASICs have the performance and capabilities to accelerate any cloud, AI, or storage workload. Our flagship Cumulus Linux operating system brings cloud-scale automation and management capabilities to any data center. At the same time, we actually build an open platform, and some of our largest customers run Pure Sonic, which is the leading open-source network operating system available. At the top of the stack here, we have our network solution tools. They make it easy to design, automate, deploy, and operate a cloud networking environment. NetCube provides a single pane of glass for the entire network and makes it easy to monitor and troubleshoot the network. And then NVIDIA Air provides a digital twins environment for the network. This allows you to try different network designs and then validate everything in a simulated environment before going to production. As you can see, taken together, our Spectrum Switch platform has all the tools and capabilities needed to solve very complex cloud environments. And today, we're really going to focus on our NVIDIA Air platform. This is key to enabling innovation to our customers, and we're actually going to provide a demo of this at the end of today's session. But first, let's get into a little bit more detail about the Spectrum Accelerated Ethernet platform. We'll go through the 3 pillars of Spectrum: NVIDIA integration, operational innovation, and hardware innovation. First, NVIDIA provides full-stack solutions for accelerated computing. The network is a critical piece of our solution, as our networking is capable of accelerating workloads. That's why we've built Spectrum X, the world's only Ethernet platform purpose-built for AI. Spectrum X consists of our Spectrum 4 Ethernet switch and our Bluefield 3 DPU, or data processing unit. Both of these products are standards-based Ethernet products. You put them together, and they work in concert to provide 1.6x higher effective bandwidth as compared to traditional Ethernet. This directly impacts how efficiently the AI workloads operate and provides a significant ROI, or return on investment. Next, let's talk about our hardware innovation. Spectrum can accelerate any data center environment, whether it's an AI cloud or general compute, whether it's storage, and whether you're building an enterprise cloud or you're a cloud provider. We have all the functionality built into our switches that you need, including EVPN, adaptive routing, congestion control, and enhanced Rocky features that provide the best Rocky experience available. We provide a comprehensive data center switching portfolio. As I mentioned, we've brought 5 generations of Ethernet switching to market, all powered by our Spectrum ASICs. They are designed by NVIDIA and bring over 20 years of experience in high-performance networking to any cloud environment. Now, let's talk about how Spectrum provides operational innovation and efficiencies to the data center. The operational model of our Spectrum switching is fundamentally different than traditional Ethernet switching. It is powered by Cumulus Linux, which was built by the people who brought the cloud model to networking for everyone. This includes the focus on software-driven automation and adopting DevOps concepts to networking. This allows networking to quickly deploy and operate and scale out cloud-native environments. This also means that it changes how people think about the network. The network is managed at scale through APIs, not with CLIs. Let's talk about our customers' experience with using Spectrum and Cumulus. IDC interviewed many of our top customers. The return on their operational model was clear. First, by taking an automation-first approach, unplanned downtime was significantly reduced by as much as 64%. Furthermore, the network staff spent much less time just keeping the lights on, and as a result, spent 120% more time innovating. And innovating is what we want to talk more about today. Our Spectrum Switch platform is built to enable innovation. We're editing, right? Let me start this one over again. Sorry.
No worries.
In fact, NVIDIA Air, stop again, I'm sorry. Please. And innovating is what we want to talk more about today. Our Spectrum Switch platform is built to enable innovation. In fact, NVIDIA Air is where we'll spend the rest of our time together. We'll provide an interview and demo of NVIDIA Air, where you can try different network designs and configurations in a simulated environment. NVIDIA Air is a cornerstone that enabled innovation with our Spectrum solution. On that note, let me turn it over to Greg Hamoya, who will provide an overview of NVIDIA Air. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate that overview of our Spectrum Ethernet solution. It's a great way to kick us off and get us started into understanding a little bit more about how our network solutions can help our customers today. So as we go forward, and as what Bill mentioned, I want to talk a little bit about our NVIDIA Air solution and give you some insight into what the solution can do for you and give you as a tool. And then we'll hand it off to Matt to talk about and walk us through an actual demo of the NVIDIA Air environment. So NVIDIA as a whole is known for its simulation and digital twin solutions, one of those being the NVIDIA Omniverse solution, and the use of simulation that helps model and solve real-world challenges. One of those being a structural model, for example, where digital artists and engineers collaborate to build and simulate a real-world environment of whether that bridge would be able to sustain the traffic flows that might flow over it, or a factory floor that would be built in order to build out a car or other products and solutions. And then also our NVIDIA Drive Sim, which is autonomous vehicle modeling that's leveraging the NVIDIA Omniverse environment. Another example of a digital twin environment where we're simulating real world scenarios for those cars and the software stack that they're developing to be able to simulate what would happen as they drive through a city, a suburb, et cetera, and how they would need to react and be able to simulate that real world environment. So taking us to NVIDIA Air, similar concept in terms of simulation. We're simulating and building digital twins of the data center environment, right? So it gives us that opportunity to actually build out what would be a physical network infrastructure in the simulated NVIDIA Air environment to do testing, to do proof of concepts, et cetera. So this gives us really a lot of flexibility in how we plan and build out our data center. So looking at the NVIDIA Air platform, we want to talk about the availability of it. It's available via public cloud. It's just a simple login wall. So any user can access via registration. So the simple process, giving you access to be able to do data center simulations of your Spectrum Ethernet environment before you actually deploy it into a physical world. So it's giving you the highest accuracy of true to life simulations of the configuration environment. It's fast. It spins up very quickly. It's cloud hosted, so there's all you need is a browser and a login, and it's comprehensive. So end-to-end ability to configure across the data center environment, switching to servers, et cetera, and simulate that workflow as you go forward. And Matt's going to be able to walk us through some of those examples. So it's a great tool to leverage in that way. And so from a life cycle perspective, it's really good to understand how does NVIDIA Air help us in many different aspects. And day zero, from a planning phase perspective, we can build out that digital twin. We can use it from a training and education standpoint, or we can build a proof of concept to give ourselves the ability before that hardware hits the floor in our data center environment, we can have the entire configuration built out so that we know it's validated, it's working in a simulated environment. And then come the time to roll it out into production, we can take that same configuration we built within NVIDIA Air and roll it into the physical environment, leveraging automation, et cetera, and really standing up that network within a matter of minutes within the data center once all the physical equipment has arrived. So fantastic ability to do that. And then as we go forward from a maintenance and, day 2 scenario perspective, we can bring those configs of the existing physical environment back into the Air solution and do changes, change validation, et cetera, to be able to make those changes in a simulated environment and roll them back out into the physical environment. So lots of value and leverage that you can take and advantages from taking advantage of the NVIDIA Air solution. So let me just walk you through a little bit of some of how to access, what some of the features are within the Air platform itself, and then we'll move on to the demo. So just at a first glance, here's a login screen. It's very simple. Go to air.nvidia.com. If you don't have a login to the NVIDIA developer network, it will just ask you to register. So it's a fairly straightforward process, matter of a few minutes, and you'll be able to get logged in and access into the NVIDIA Air environment, where you will see essentially, a splash screen or the dashboard, if you will, to be able to create a simulation on the left. You can choose that. You'll have options of whether to go into a demo marketplace or to start your own, build your own custom topology from scratch. So a couple different options there to get you started. The demo marketplace has lots of variety of networking experience that you can use from a training standpoint. You can see pre-built configurations depending on scenarios you may be interested in. You can go into the demo marketplace to see even more pre-built topologies, et cetera, that you can take from where they are and customize them or use them as they are, et cetera, for your own solution. And then from a custom topology perspective, you can go into the topology builder and then start from scratch. If you have a design in mind that you want to do, go ahead and feel free to leverage this. It's a great way to even kind of start to learn or understand how we connect in within the Spectrum environment, leveraging the Cumulus operating system. You can really spend quite a bit of time and try different scenarios within the custom topology builder. It's highly accurate, so you're using the same Cumulus operating system environment that you would be using on the physical switch. So when you're programming and configuring within the NVIDIA Air environment, you're actually doing it as if you were on the physical switches itself. So this is a great way to, as we said, build out the configuration, get you started, get that console access, et cetera, so that you can have that experience before you ever roll it out into a physical environment. And using it from a training perspective, as I mentioned before, the documentation that's accessible within the Air platform is highly regarded. So it's definitely got all the tools and resources that you may need to get you started if you're not as familiar with Cumulus from an operating perspective and want to spend more time getting familiar. There's labs, et cetera, that you can have access to within the environment itself. So it's a great tool from that standpoint. So how to get started, as I mentioned, go to air.nvidia.com. It's great. Very simple. Log in and you'll have access to the Air tool. There's no cost to get access. And so anybody that can get in and start leveraging the power of what the NVIDIA Air platform has to provide. And as a few key takeaways before we jump into the demo, just remember that, as Bill mentioned, the Spectrum Ethernet switches are built to drive high performance in both AI and enterprise clouds. NVIDIA Air as a simulation tool is there to help you to build, deploy, and maintain those fabrics, easy to access, simple to build your own topologies or leverage existing environments. And take advantage of NVIDIA Air really does drive operational innovation. So you can simulate at scale, leveraging automation. You can build out an entire data center environment within the Air platform to help you reduce operating costs as you build out that data center ahead of time and get it prepared for whenever the physical equipment is there in the data center to deploy. And certainly don't forget to connect with your Equus team members to discuss any of your requirements. Feel free to reach out to the team of experts there to engage on your future requirements. So, and with that, we'll head off to the demo. Thank you.
Hello, this is Matt Blackstone with NVIDIA. I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of the Air platform live here. As we covered earlier, you can create an account pretty quickly and easily. Once you get logged in, you'll get presented with a simulations list, which of course will be empty on your first login. There's a couple other things in here I want to touch on while I'm in this kind of overview page. There is a link here for documentation. And if you click on the user guide, it will bring up a nice, pretty much summary of everything we're going to talk about today. If you forget and need to get a quick overview or a refresher, it's all in here, including creating topologies and using the API to interface with Air. So we'll dive into the meat of this, creating your own custom simulation. If you click on custom simulation, you are presented with, wrong one. There we go, this page. So you essentially have two branches to follow here. You can either go to a pre-built demo, the demo marketplace, or you can build your own. I'll cover the demo marketplace first. Once you are in here, you're presented with a long list. There is a search that makes things easier. A lot of our stuff can be searched by either feature or by version. I'll just use a version here. So this is one of our newer versions, 5.5, not the latest, but it's got all the demos that I want to talk about today. You can see we have a variety here, including instructor-led training versions, so you can access the demo outside of class if you do choose to take the instructor-led training. But really, what I like to focus on is EVP and multi-homing, because this one has most of our features that we would consider best practice in it. So there's EVPN with symmetric routing and multi-homing to replace proprietary MLAG technologies. When you're in the marketplace, there's a nice little brief summary here. Some tags that you can see for the different features that are enabled within it. And if you want to dig into, you can click on the GitLab icon and you'll be taken to the GitLab repository that has all the documentation, all the automation that's used in this lab, including an actual lab guide. Shows the diagram, any related reference design material, features that are included, how to actually use this repo offline, and then summary of all the different features, show command output, so you can follow through in the lab live and kind of see how things are working, including testing from host to host, because this demo does actually include simulated hosts as well as just the infrastructure. So if you look on the topology, these down here at the bottom are actually simulated nodes. So let me go ahead and jump back to this. So if you decided you did want to do that one, you can hit the launch button. It will normally not give you an error. But if you do get an error, you can just try it again. Since this is live, I went ahead and actually launched this ahead of time in case we didn't encounter any errors. Once it goes through and actually instantiates all the nodes and does all the plumbing between them, you'll be presented with this screen. There are two views when you're in the actual simulation view, advanced and basic. I prefer the advanced view. It gives a little bit more information. As you can see, you get the same information minus the topology when you go into advanced. You can bring it up at any time by clicking view topology. You do get a little console on the right-hand side here, and you get a detail of the services. Since this is an online platform, you can provision and expose services to the web. By default, a lot of our labs will have SSH provisioned from the management server, so you can use that as a jump box. Very handy if you want to test your automation or anything like that. You can actually SSH into a jump box, use it as a SSH jump box realistically for your automation, so you can run your live automation against it, or you can just pull up a terminal and SSH from your laptop. If you're doing this, I really highly recommend uploading an SSH key. We do support passwordless authentication. On the home page, there is a settings and SSH keys. You can just put in your public key here, And when you provision a simulation, it will be loaded into the jump host automatically. We also do passwordless login between the different nodes and the management server. So it really makes things a lot easier. You can also get directly into any device you want to by clicking on it here. It will pull up a live console. So you can log in. All the default credentials are recorded within the GitHub and the documentation for these. But yeah, you can get into these and run commands just like you normally would. Warm with the default, just like so. Now this is going to present a little problem because I had this running for a long time and the disk space is not provisioned very thick, so the logs will fill up. You can always just restart the simulation to clear these out. So once you get into these, you can run any commands like you normally would on a real switch. This is very helpful for troubleshooting. That's kind of the overview of creating one from the lab. For creating custom ones, you pick create your own topology. I'm trying to find the Zoom interface is right in the way. Build your own, and you get two options from here. You can do create your own, which is a dynamic designer, which I'll show here first. And then you can also do upload a topology file. This is more for automation, or if someone is trying to share something with you or has provided you a topology file to use, you can use either one, but 9 times out of 10, you'll be using the GUI. So here's the GUI for this. Pretty simple. Drag and drop, you get 4 types of nodes. You can drag and drop however many switches you need, however many nodes you need. Just going to go with 2 and 2 here just for simplicity. Obviously, we don't have enough ports here to fully connect this, so I'll go into the first device and I'll add some ports. On the right-hand side, you have a little menu over here, and you can click on Add Port. You can pick which alignment you want. I'm going to do bottom. That is not bottom, that is top. You can add a single port, or you can add multiples in the same go. So I do bottom. I can say, let's add 3 more. So now I have 5 on the bottom. Once you have the number of ports that you need, you can just drag and drop the connections. If you mess up, you can hit delete. Put it to the right host if you want to. You also get the ability to go in and edit the OS that these devices are running. We have pretty deep list of Cumulus versions in here, going all the way back to 3.7, it looks like. So if you need to do your own interoperability testing or upgrade testing, you can actually do that in air. Change the name of the device. You can also pick a pre-built hardware model if you wanted to do emulation of a device that you have in production. On that, it will auto-populate the device with the number of ports that it needs. Becomes a little bit hard to fit on the screen, but it does work. You can also go in, and if you're only using 10 of the ports, you can go in and rename the ports. So instead of making the switch port 5, we'll make it switch port 56, and it will work just like it would in your real configuration without having to simulate every single port on the switch. Kind of a best of both worlds. And then for the server nodes, you can do the same thing. We have a few flavors of Ubuntu in here, most of the LTSs. Yeah. So that's kind of the do-it-yourself model. Once you get everything in here the way you want it, you hit start simulation. Oh, before I go into that, you can also save a build. So again, if you wanted to share this with someone, you can do that from here. You can do a full export, and it will save the topology file. It will save all the settings for the devices, and it will save a SVG of the layout as well. You can also change the name of the project before or after you launch it, or you can just start a completely new one, and it will wipe the slate here. You can also hit the X up here to clear the canvas if you want to just start over from scratch. So I hit start simulation. Hopefully I won't hit an error, but normally this would just dump you into the simulation itself. This is something I get internally, and no error this time, so it's just going to take its time to do that. While that is firing up, I will show the format for a topology file. So our topologies are done in GraphViz. So this is the format. You can define all your nodes, including the versions that are running on them, memory, CPUs, and then you define the actual connections between them. This topology file can be used over the API. I have a Python script here, essentially copied out of our user guide, to go through and create that topology file completely through the API. So it will transfer the topology file over, instantiate it, and return back the simulation ID names, etc., for you to use in pipelines or any other kind of automated testing you want to do. So there we are. It's deployed while you're doing the other thing. And if you do your own, SSH is not enabled by default. There is a button here to enable it. It's a one-click thing. You get a little copy to clipboard, and it will copy everything you need to actually get to that host through PuTTY or whatever you want. Like say like this one, this in here. And on first login, if you log into a bunch, you'll get SSH warnings, and you'll be prompted to change the password because this is a brand new node that just got spun up just for you, for your simulation. The current passwords are, again, documented. In this case, it was NVIDIA. And then you have to set a new password for it. But once you've set the password, if you upload your SSH key, it will be passwordless because it will have your SSH public key stored on the node hosts for authorized users. And that kind of concludes the demo. Again, the user guide has pretty much everything that I've covered today. So feel free to browse it, refresh yourself, including getting API tokens, creating simulations. Like I said, code is contained here, both SDK or curl format. And that concludes the live demo.
All right. Thank you, Matt. And with that, we'll conclude the webinar. Thank you for joining us today. And a special thank you to Bill, Greg, Matt, and all of our partners at NVIDIA. Please contact us with any questions or inquiries. Have a nice day.